Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Victoria Lynn, and I am so excited because today we're doing a full face of Revlon, and I have to show you something that I got from Revlon that is crazy. It's on the floor, it's really big. Voila! So we have a huge box of Revlon. This is their entire first half of their collection products from this year. So I have basically half of everything they're launching this year, which is really exciting. So I'm going to be using quite a bit of this today and talking about it and swatching it. So let's look inside this thing because I'm sure you want to see what's inside. This is really heavy. Oh, damn. Oh, I need someone to help me. Ow. Oh, Jesus. Okay, I'm all the way over here. This is a really big box. So we have all the Instafilter foundations. We have like every shade. We have every shade here. We have some color correctors. We have some Sunlight Dream highlighting palettes, Galaxy Dream. We have a primer. When I opened up this package, I thought that was all. I was like, oh wow, this is a lot already, like just looking, but no. This actually lifts up and there's more. So this is the lower half of the PR package. So I have nail polish, eyeshadows, liquid liners, brow products, lipsticks. So Revlon sent me this amazing package to create looks with, and they also sent me the new Color Charge collection. So I have all of their new Color Charge products and I'm gonna be using them today. I pretty much did a mixture of everything that's in this box and the Color Charge to show you an overview of all the new stuff. So it's really cool and I use it on my face to create this look. So I hope you guys really love it. I got a lot of love on my IG pic that I used with this palette. A lot of you guys didn't believe me that this was the palette, but this is it. It is super pigmented. It is insanely pigmented. I love it. This is probably one of the best palettes at the drugstore right now. So you guys will see how I got this look. And I just really love these products. I think they're awesome. And this video is not sponsored. Revlon sent me this package out of the blue. I was not expecting it and I was just so excited that I wanted to share all of these new products with you guys. And I love doing these affordable looks for you guys. I know that you guys love affordable makeup and I'm getting a lot of it lately, so I'm excited to be sharing this with you guys. It's so good to see you guys here again. Thank you for tuning in. I really hope that you love this look. And if you love Revlon, if you love affordable makeup, leave a comment down below and let me know. Like this video and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you can be a part of the VLB squad. And without further ado, let's jump into it. I'm first gonna prime my skin with the new mist from Revlon, and I have a full book here that tells me all about these products. So I'm just gonna quickly read you what this product does. So this is a prep, set, and refresh mist. So you can use this mist in 3 different ways. You can prep with it, use it as a primer, you can refresh throughout the day, or you can just set your makeup after you finish with it to make it really last throughout the day. So I think that's pretty cool that you can do 3 different things with this, but I'm gonna be using this to prime. This does have a really nice cucumber scent. I couldn't describe what it was when I first tried it, but I'm reading here that it's cucumber scented and I love cucumber. So it says as a primer, you wear it under makeup and you create a smooth, even canvas. Okay, it seems like I just sprayed a lot, but it is so fine that it just feels really light on my skin. I've used this before and I did really like it. It was really like refreshing. And if anything, I feel like this is a really good primer and a refresh mist. I have to go in with a lot of really heavy duty setting mists because I have really oily skin. So for me, this works great as a primer or like a refresher. Literally, you have to stop me when using this because it smells so good. I'm done, I promise. So you guys saw that I received a ton of the Instafilter foundations. I have all the shades right now, and I actually had purchased this foundation before they had sent it to me, and I really, really loved it. This is actually like the only foundation I've used this month. It is so like kind of blurring on the skin. It looks really, really smooth, and it's like kind of like a matte finish, but not. It's like a satin, so it leaves your skin looking so flawless. I can't really explain it, but my mom also has this, and whenever I see her and she's looking flawless, it's usually when she's wearing this. So it says, the unique built-in blender fits the curve of your face and helps apply your foundation. I will say that the sponge does kind of smooth the foundation nicely onto the face, but I do like blending it in with like a sponge, which I'm gonna be doing today. This is a medium buildable coverage. That probably explains why I really like it. I just love fuller coverage type of foundations. So what you wanna do is make sure you are shaking it before you start to twist the bottom, and as you twist it, the foundation is gonna come out onto the sponge. You can kind of just dot it or smooth it onto the face, which this works really well for me when I do this. Now, if you're in a rush and you really need to blend your foundation, this is so ideal because there is a sponge on top. It does require a little bit more blending because this is a more firm sponge than like a blender, like a beauty blender, but you can definitely get the job done if you're really needing a sponge at the moment. So you can see here how it looks blended with the sponge. I like to go over it with my Real Technique sponge and just blend it in. I will say using this sponge on the product, it gives you a more full coverage application. The reason why, like the ultimate reason why I really like this is obviously the finish of it, but I feel like it feels very light on my skin. So there's a few foundations I really love from the drugstore and you guys have seen me use them. But ultimately, the reason why I don't keep using them is because they feel tightening on my skin or they feel really, really full. And although this is a medium coverage, I don't feel it on my skin. So if you're looking for something that feels weightless, that doesn't feel like you're wearing like a mask, this feels really, really good on the skin. This is the Revlon Color Stay Brow Mousse. And this is like a brow pencil in a shape, but at the tip of it, it has a super interesting kind of brush. It's like spiky. This comes in 5 shades. This is waterproof. So as you can see, the product is just like coming out of the little spoolie at the end. I'm just gonna spread it out on the brush because I don't want it to be too much. I'm really weird about my brows. I always use the same thing, so I'm a little nervous. I think that this is really nice if you're going for like a feathery type of brow look as well. They are definitely like right when they say there's no harsh lines. I don't see any lines at all. I like it. Okay, I use the shade dark brown, but I really like this. I usually go for a little bit more of a bold brow, so I'm gonna be using the Color Stay Brow Kit next. This has a gel and it has a dark brown brow powder in it. Ooh, that is a nice color. So this goes really well with the dark brown mousse. So when you're using the brow mousse, you definitely want to let it dry if you're going in with the powder next because I did smudge it a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit of the foundation on my concealer brush. This is a Sigma Concealer F70. I typically always do this when I'm doing my brows, but I'm just going to go around and clean them up a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this gel that's in the brow kit. I've never used like a gel like this before. I probably should have used this first, but I'm gonna use this to set my brows. And I'm gonna use it to kind of feather them out. This is actually working really good. Ooh, okay, I like this, I like it. So I went ahead and I did this eye with the Color Charge palette, and I recently did a look on my Instagram using this palette. It was really similar to this look. This is one of my favorite palettes of the month, if not my favorite, because I've never come across a drugstore palette that has a mixture of mattes and also like metallic-y colors that are bright. And if you're into doing colorful looks like me, you will really enjoy it. So I'm gonna show you guys more in depth how I do this eye. That's why I went ahead and I did this one first. I'm gonna go ahead and place down a shadow shield. So you can actually use tape. You don't have to use a shadow shield, but I do have quite a lot of these, so I thought I might as well pop one on. So I'm just gonna place it just like this. You wanna make sure it's pretty symmetrical with your other eye so it looks really, really on point. So I did prime my lid with the eyeshadow primer, the Color Stay one. This is their new eyeshadow primer and I love it. It's 24-hour. It is a skin tone color and it's universal, so it's gonna match anyone's skin tone, which is awesome. So the first shade I'm gonna pick up from the Color Charge palette is this gold, and I'm gonna go ahead and start packing this on the inner corner of the eye. And I'm just gonna start packing this on right in this inner corner. This is a pretty sheer gold. This color requires you to build it up quite a bit to get it to really show, but when it does, it is so pretty. So I'm just kind of circling that underneath the front of my brow bone as well. A trick to making these shadows really pop is pick up a good amount of it on your brush, and then you can spritz your brush. I like to use Fix Plus to spritz it, but you can also use the mist to really make the shadow pop. And now I'm just gonna go back in and really pack that in. You see how much that pops after you've wet the brush. All right, so next I'm gonna go ahead and grab the pink in this palette, and this is a really nice warm pink color. And a trick to this look, you want to make sure that your warm colors and your more cool colors are separated. So that's why I went in and I did more of like a sunset up here, and then I did some kind of mermaid blues and greens down here. I feel like those colors blend together nicely, these mermaid shades, and there really isn't any crazy blending involved. They just blend into each other because they're kind of in the same family, and that's how I feel about these warmer purples, golds, oranges. They always look so nice with each other. So what I do is I just take my brush and I don't clean it off or anything. I just mix into the pink and then I go right next to the gold, and I'm just gonna start blending that right next to the gold. And it's okay if this gets a little bit on your lid, but you wanna make sure that you keep this pretty high up. So not cleaning the brush or wiping it off or anything, I'm gonna grab the purple. I'm gonna pop this right next to the pink. And the cool thing about the shadow shield is you can go right up against it with your brush and you can really just bring it out. And this shadow shield is really gonna help with that clean line, just like that. It's not perfectly blended, but we're gonna keep adding some on. So now I'm gonna go back in with the pink once again, and I'm just gonna really pack this on by pressing it in and then blending it out. One thing I wanted to recommend to you guys is how I get a lot of my shadows to show up super pigmented is I just really go into the pan. Like, I don't just tap in like that. I really get my brush coated with that color, and that is how I make it pop. You want your brush to look like this if you want something really bright and really pigmented, so don't be afraid to go in and grab a lot of product. And with these types of looks where you want the lid to just blend into each other, these colors look so soft blended together, you want to use a lot more of a fluffy type of brush. This brush I'm using is a Sigma Firm Blender, but if you have just a really fluffy blending brush is all you need. You can just use one brush by packing it on and then blending with the tip of the brush. And now what we're gonna do is we are going to remove the shadow shield. Look how amazing that is. So to cut the crease, you can use any concealer or your foundation. So I'm gonna be using the Revlon Color Stay Concealer in Fair. I like to use a fair, really light shade to cut my crease. No matter what skin tone you are, a really light concealer works so good for cutting into the crease because it's gonna give you a really bright base to make that lid look huge. Now what really helps when you're doing a cut crease is you wanna make sure that you're just looking straight into the mirror without doing this, because you wanna get that perfect lid. And I have a little bit of overhang on my lid, so I do draw in a little bit more of a lid so that you can see more of the color. So I'm just looking straight into my handheld mirror, and I'm gonna bring this across the lid, going a little bit above my natural crease. So where I have some folding going on, I'm basically just going right over it and above it to give like a huge lid look. Some people have naturally, like, it literally looks like their lid is already cut naturally, but I am not one of those people. I do not have a big eyelid, but I make it work, and you can too. So I have a really cool product that we are going to put right on top of the lid, and it is the Color Charge Loose Powder in Holographic. I knew it was like a holographic shade. This is so cool because it kind of looks a little bit white when you apply it, but as you layer it on, it starts to look more light pink. It just has a lot of dimension to it, and I'm gonna be using a pretty firm brush. This is the Domed Blending E43 from Sigma. So I grab a lot of it, as you can see. Can't be scared here, grab a lot. We're gonna go right in with this. Start to really pack that on. So as you can see, we have that on. It looks really, really pretty. It's like a lilac purple pink shade. Going back into the Color Charge palette, I'm gonna be picking up the purple, and I'm using this on a Sigma Precision Lip Line brush. You can use any really small brush for this that's really flat and just tiny. So I'm just gonna be going into the crease again, and I'm just gonna line this out a little bit. I really want this to be really dark, just like this side, and I'm just going in and lining underneath each shade, and then just grabbing a little bit more of those shades, I'm going to add them back in. I'm gonna pop this shadow shield back on again because I really want this eyeliner to look super sharp. We're gonna be using the Revlon Color Stay Exactify Liquid Liner, and this is actually a roller liner, so The tiny tip on it is actually a wheel. It's literally a wheel, and you just roll it on your eye, which I think is so cool. And this is the black one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just going to go straight out from the outer corner of my eye into the shadow shield. And then from there, I'm gonna start creating the wing. And this best way to describe it is those cutters people use for pizza, just like a pizza cutter, whatever the heck it's called. This looks like something you'd cut pizza with, but it's like super small and it just rolls on its own. So you could literally just drag your hand and it will roll. This eyeliner can be a little bit tricky at times just because I'm not used to using something that isn't a pen, but if I go really slow, then it works good. But this is more, I guess, for someone that's pretty good at eyeliner just because it's a little bit harder than using a pen. So now I'm just gonna grab some concealer and I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the outer corner of the wing. This is a trick you can do. Just take a flat concealer brush and just go right up against your wing. You can really clean everything up with concealer. And now just taking the same blending brush we've been using this whole time, I'm just gonna lightly wing out this cut crease, just not picking up any product at all. I'm just gonna bring out the purple. All right, so now that this eye is done, I'm gonna go in with some concealer and apply it under my eye. And this is the same one I cut the crease with. It is pretty brightening, so I thought it would look perfect for this look. I am literally so impressed with this palette. Like every time I use it, it just amazes me that this is a drugstore palette. All right, so now I'm gonna pick up this dark green in the palette. It's like an emerald green, and I'm using this on a Sigma Pencil E30. I'm gonna connect this shade to the wing. I'm gonna pick up the blue, which literally is my favorite from this palette. It is so pretty. And I'm gonna go ahead and, not waterline, but I'm gonna really smoke out the lower lash line with this. So now I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the green that's in this palette. It's like a lime green. This is also one of my favorite shades in this palette. I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this right into the inner corner and then bring it into the blue so we can diffuse some of that dark blue out and make it a little bit more of a lighter blue. And lastly, I'm gonna pick up this kind of silver shade. I'm gonna pack this into the inner corner of the eye. So I'm gonna pop on some blue eyeliner, and this is not from Revlon, but I'm pretty sure that they do have one that is similar to this. This is turquoise from Sephora. So now I'm gonna pop on the Ardell magnetic lashes, and I just have the outer corner lashes. I really like these. So I wasn't thinking these would be very easy to work with, but I have just been loving them. They're so nice because I do so many looks. I hate when lash glue gets stuck between my lashes. It takes forever to get out, and this is so easy after you get the hang of it. So I'm just gonna take the upper pair, and while I'm looking down into a mirror, I'm gonna place them on the outer corner of my eye. And this might take a second just to get them perfectly on. And you wanna make sure once you have them on that you don't move too much or look around. And then I'm gonna grab the other pair and place them underneath, and they literally just clamp on just like that. I love these so much. So I went ahead and I added on some blush and some bronzer, and now we're gonna get on to highlighting because we have a few highlighting products to play with. I have the Liquid Illuminator. This is from the Color Charge collection, and it's in the shade Halo. This looks like a really pretty kind of like champagne highlight, and it is a liquid highlight. So what I'm gonna do is I love to use liquid highlights on like a little tiny blender, like a sponge. So I'm gonna spray this using the Photo Ready Prep Set and Refresh spray. I'm just gonna get this coated in the spray. And I'm also gonna go ahead and I'm gonna wet my face using this. I'm gonna refresh it because, as you guys all know, when you apply liquid highlighter on top of powders, it looks awful. It looks terrible. So we need to get our face pretty damp, and then we're gonna apply it. I'm gonna go ahead and apply a good amount of it on the back of my hand, just like that. I'm gonna go ahead and start to press this into the tops of the cheekbones. That is super pretty. And I'm just gonna keep this right at the tops of the cheekbones. I'm gonna bring this a little bit onto the cheek, just like that, so you can get that dewy glow. I'm also going to apply this right onto the Cupid's bow, the chin. This is so pretty. I never got to try this out until now, but I really, really, really love this. It's not moving any of my foundation because we went in with that spray first. This is making the skin really allow this liquid highlighter to not move anything around because our skin is damp too. It's kind of like a sheer champagne color. It looks kind of peachy as well. It's really pretty. It's not too light, which I love. I hate when highlights are a little bit too light for me and they just look like white on my face. They look so, so bad when they're like that. So I love that this liquid highlight is really natural looking and just really pretty. So Revlon has come out with 2 new highlighting palettes. We have the Galaxy Dream, which is more of like duochrome highlights. There's a green, a purple, a pink. There's like a really kind of orangey color in here as well. So these are more for like creative, fun looks. If you're like that, if you're like me and you love like colored highlights, you would really enjoy something like this. It's super cool to use on your eyes too. So as you can see, this is more for like everyday, more neutral. I mean, this could totally be your everyday too if you're like that, but I feel like this is more of like a wearable type of palette. The Galaxy one is definitely more of a fun, sort of creative highlighting palette. You can see the Galaxy one is a little bit more of like a white kind of base with like different shades in it. So this is kind of like mermaid-ish in my opinion. This one is definitely more of an everyday. So just so you can see some of these shades, you can see these are more like bronzy shades, very pretty. So I'm going to be using the Sunlit Dream, and I'm going to go ahead and grab this shade right here, and I'm going to mix in a little bit of these top 2 shades, and I'm just going to use this to highlight my nose. This is definitely like a perfect name for this because it's such a golden, pretty highlighting palette. I just really, really love it, and it's so, oh my gosh, it's so glowy. I'm gonna just apply a little bit of it onto the cheeks. It's really glowy, especially this color up here is so pretty. You can even take these on like a big brush like this, and you can highlight your shoulders. So Revlon has also come out with some lip powders and then some lipsticks from the Color Charge collection. So these lip powders are pretty cool. You could put these over the top of any lipstick pretty much that you own, and it gives like a metallic finish to it. And I did wear this in my Instagram photo that you guys really liked, and I also wore it with this lipstick, and this lipstick is in Violet Rush Matte. Because these eyes are so intense, I really want to try a different lip product. These are new from Revlon. They are the Revlon Kiss Plumping Lip Creams. So I would love to try this one. This one looks really pretty. Who doesn't love lip plumper? I do love it. The initial plumping I don't love, but I do love the way they look after. So it says, instantly fuller, smoother looking lips, visibly enhances size and shapes of lips over time. Over time, lips appear more sculpted and curvaceous. So they come in 10 shades, and this is just supposed to make your lips look really good and big, plump. So the tubes show like what the color is going to look like, which I think is really helpful. And this is like a medium nude. So let's see how it looks. This is called Nude Honey. So far, I don't feel my lips like feeling tingly, or with normal plumpers, they really kind of hurt a little bit for the first few minutes. I don't feel anything right now. They do feel really full though. Like they feel like there's something happening there. It's kind of like a minty feeling, but it feels really good. And these are really nice. They're not sticky. They're just basically like a lip cream. They feel so soft. So now we're gonna set it and forget it using the mist we used to prep with, to refresh with. Now we're gonna set everything and lock it down. This is the Photo Ready Prep Set Refresh Mist. It smells like cucumber. Alright everyone, I really hope that you loved this full face of Revlon. I am obsessed with this new Color Charge collection, and I think that a lot of these products that Revlon is coming out with, they're just killing it for me. I loved everything, but there of course is a few things that stand out from their new collection. They sent me everything from the first half of this year's complete releases, pretty much. That's what it says in my booklet. And I would say that the products that really stand out to me that I love, that I could recommend to you right now for you to buy, are number one, the Color Charge palette. This is limited edition, so if you want it, I would recommend trying to find it at your local Walgreens, or you can find this at CVS. So definitely check and see if you can pick this up, because this is an awesome palette. I also really loved the plumping lip creams. Really love this. I think it's so pretty, and it's nice and natural feeling on the lips. Doesn't feel like sticky or anything. It feels really good. I love the Instafilter foundation. I think it is so good, and this has definitely been my favorite foundation of the month. I've been using it every day and I love it, so I could recommend this to you. If you love this type of finish, which is more of like a matte blurring finish, you will really like this. Also really love the Liquid Illuminator in Halo. This is so pretty. If you can pick this up as well, I would recommend it. But as for the number one thing that just was amazing to me that I loved, was the palette. This is #1. So good from Revlon right now. You need it. I loved it. And this is up there with some of my favorite like eyeshadow palettes that are colorful. There's not many out there really that are that impressive that I love, that I constantly reach for. I love the Sephora editorial palette. I love the Morphe 35B. And this to me is right up there with that. There's so many great bright colors in here that look really similar to those palettes. And a lot of these bright colors are really trending right now. They're so fun to do looks with. And this is a great drugstore option for everyone to be able to use. So I love this palette. I hope you guys loved everything. Let me know down below what your favorite thing was, and if you love this look, I am feeling this cut crease. I think it is so pretty. I'm loving this look, and I hope you guys love this too. Thank you for tuning in today and watching my videos, enjoying them. I love you guys. Please have an amazing rest of your day. I hope it's awesome, and I will see you in my next tutorial.
Feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, can't make cold.